Deportiva y con swing.
Deportiva y con swing.
La factoría del deporte desde New York para ti. Es una máquina.
Es una máquina
Pensada para ti.
pensada para ti. Número uno en las redes, dale like y compartir.
Con informaciones importantes siempre frescas.
Y con entrevistas que te ponen de cabeza.
Lo mejor del deporte lo encontrarás aquí.
Búscale en las redes, dale like y compartir.
Suscríbete,
Ay sí,
infórmate.
ok. Dale a la campana para que te llegue.
We'll get to as many questions as we can. Boone, thanks for joining us. Who has the first question? Tina Cervasio, go right ahead.
Hey there, Aaron. So with Luis Rojas, why did you think he was a good fit, and how did you so quickly contact him to get him hired here?
Well, first I've, gotten to know Luis a little bit over the last few years, just obviously playing across town and, developed a little bit of a relationship. And just looking from afar, certainly somebody that, that I respected, enjoyed our interactions together. But then as we started to dig a little bit and try and find as much information when you're going through interviews as you can. And, the respect he's earned and really across the board in this game from people that we contacted and just how highly people spoke of him, certainly, confirmed that we definitely needed to interview him and wanted to talk to him. And so kind of put him through the interview process. I think all of our group kind of fell in love with him as far as, everyone kind of giving the thumbs up, like, yeah, this is a guy we need to get with our staff. And we know that brings a lot of experience. Obviously he grew up in this game, with fathers and brothers, big leaguers. For a fairly young man, he's worn a lot of hats as far as he's got a lot of experience in the minor leagues, obviously managing across town for the Mets. Because of all his managerial experience in the minor leagues, he's got a lot of third base coaching experience. And actually, when we first started interviewing him, I think it was with third base in mind. But we're going to kind of let roles develop and evolve as we kind of go through these interview process. And I think he really wanted to get back out to third base. He kind of expressed how much he enjoys coaching third base, having done it so much in the minor leagues. So, and then kind of settling in on him taking the outfielders. He's got a lot of experience working with infielders, but he's actually done more work in his career working with outfielders. He just, as far as the interview went, I think he just kind of killed it with everyone. And I think he was one of those guys we all felt like and knew that we wanted him to be a part of our staff. And from there, it moved pretty quickly. And not only have we added a great baseball man, but I think we've added a great person to our staff.
We go next to Lindsay Adler.
Aaron, what do you think that Rojas brings to your coaching staff that you guys needed?
I think he's, in doing kind of our background work, and you have different conversations with different people across the game and try and get a feel for them. But I think he brings, again, for being a fairly young man, he brings a lot of experience, having done a lot in obviously the minor leagues and managing in the minor leagues, being in player development, managing and coaching in winter ball in the Dominican, obviously managing with the Mets. I think he's very intelligent as far as I think he understands the importance of relationships with players. I think he understands the importance of the connection with front office and analytics and kind of all the blend that needs to happen. And I just feel like we've added a really well-rounded baseball person, but also person.
And where are you guys at in filling out the rest of your coaching staff? First base, hitting, etc.
Yeah, we're getting there. I feel like we're making really good progress.
Mm.
Interviewed a lot of people, so we're getting close. Hopefully we'll have it wrapped up here in the next couple of weeks, but really need people in this game.
You cut out a little bit, Booney, so just be cognizant of that. I don't know if you're moving or stationary.
I'm not moving, so
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I think we got the gist of that. Pete Caldera, go ahead.
Aaron, just two quick things. Are you still anticipating that Aaron Hicks would play winter ball at some point this year?
It's something he's in position to do that. Matter of fact, he sent me some video of him in the cage the other day swinging. He feels great. I think he's looking forward to doing that, and we'll just see where we are in the next few weeks about, the final signing off on that or not. But he's in position to be able to do that.
Gotcha. And how's the progress going with Tyone post surgery? And are you anticipating that he'd be a starter for you in April, or is it too soon to plan for that?
I mean, I am. I think the diagnosis was 5 months, and that's 5 months being built up. That's the full all the way back, which kind of puts him in line with the end of March, early April. So, he should be throwing and getting off the mound, I think, in January and February. And I would think his spring training will be not totally normal, but building up, in a fairly traditional way. The surgery went according to plan, so that was good. And I know the last couple of days, I know he's doing a lot better, getting over the initial, hangover of the surgery and just, having the cast and everything on there. So he's making the right kind of progress. He's been at the stadium a lot. And so feel like we'll be in a good spot with him. Obviously, as we get down to the final month and 6 weeks of things, we'll have a better look. But I would say he'll be close to in play, hopefully on time.
Thank you.
Go to Sweeney Murdy.
Hey, Aaron, when you first took the job, I don't believe there was anybody in your staff that had managing experience. I guess Nevin had some minor league experience, but you now have 4 years. Luis Rojas has 2 years in the majors. Is there anything that can be gained by having two guys with now, 6 years of big league experience as opposed to when you first took the job and your staff then?
Well, I sure hope so. I mean, that's, experience is always one of the things that is of value. I think when I took this job, you're always looking for the best people, right? But part of being that is experience does matter, and is one of the important ingredients that goes into, factoring in whether you're going to make a decision on somebody or hire someone or add someone to a staff. So I think experience is incredibly valuable, and hopefully, the experiences that both Louis and I have had over the last several years will be something that serves us well, on a daily basis. Just having another guy in the room that, brings a lot of a breadth of experience, but most importantly, we feel like brings great baseball knowledge along with them.
And have you started to reach out to any, like your own free agents? I know there's not a lot of them, but like, have you touched base with Anthony Rizzo and maybe started to put on your recruiting hat a little bit?
Not so much the recruiting hat yet. I actually did talk to Anthony a few days ago, just touching base with him. So I have spoken to him. I think I said how fond I am of Anthony and what Riz brought to the table. But as far as the recruiting process, I would say that has not started to happen yet.
Thank you.
Go next to Dan Martin.
Aaron, when we talked to Cashman, like I guess it was the same day we talked to you about your new contract, he talked about giving you a more athletic, flexible roster. How much work do you think needs to be done to the roster before next year?
Well, I mean, there'll be some necessary tweaking just because natural attrition, guys leave. You know, there'll be the inevitable trades. You know, the different 40-man guys you've got to protect, so you've got to maneuver different things. As far as have to, I don't put a have to on anything. We're trying to get better. You know, we're trying to get to the top of the mountain, and we've obviously, you know, since I've been here, we've fallen short of that. We've you know, been a playoff team every year, and had varying degrees of success. But you're always searching for a more perfect roster, but there's all kind of factors that go into that, whether it's payroll, whether it's matching up with a team on a trade, whether it's, you know, where you're allowed to go with a certain free agent. There's so many factors that go into. The bottom line is we're all hard at work at trying to, you know, kind of form a more perfect roster, and you know, hopefully we can make the right tweaks that does allow us to, you know, ultimately get over the hump, and that's what we're working towards.
Whenever you do put on that recruiting hat for free agency, how involved do you expect to be?
A lot. You know, anytime we're recruiting a free agent, you know, especially, you know, a bigger name or something like that, you know, I'm always in on that, and try and play a role, and hopefully, you know, I don't want to say sell, because we're not selling anything. We're trying to, you know, let them see what we're all about, and let them see what it is, you know, to be a Yankee, to play here, and try and give them as much information, and so that they can make a really good decision for themselves. So, you know, I usually play a big role in that when it comes down to it.
Cashman said at the GM meetings that he's not going to hold Correa's past against him in terms of looking at him as a player. What's your view on him as a free agent?
Great player. You know, I think he's obviously in the prime of his career, or entering the prime of his career even. And part of what is a very special shortstop class. I think he's a guy that has really developed into a leader over these last several seasons with the Astros, and you know, he's going to be in high demand for good reason, based on the player he is between the lines, but I also think the intangible things that that you've seen him grow into over the years, at least across the diamond.
So the history part is not a factor for you either?
No.
Thanks.
Take a final question from Randy Miller.
One more on Korea. Do you worry that he could be an issue for your clubhouse? I know it's not an issue for you or Cass, but some of your players are pretty outspoken. Aaron Judge, one that, do you worry about potentially bringing a guy who players could be upset with, or do you think they're over that?
I mean, I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves with different free agents. But look, anytime we're involved with a free agent with, you know, that's of you know, large significance, that's going to, you know, attract a lot of ears and dollars and things like that, you know, we're all going to feel really good about it. You know, not only the player, but us as an organization as well. And so there's a lot that goes into that. And I think that's part of what goes on when you're, you know, I guess talking to free agents or recruiting free agents, is you want to really get to know who they are and what they are, and also who we are and what we're about. So that's a process, and as much a part of the process as ultimately settling on, a contract.
Depending what happens this winter, you guys could have a couple of high-priced players being in role players, like maybe DJ doesn't have a starter, goes back into that playing all over the field again. Aaron Hicks, I think at the GM meetings, Cash said that center field could be a position that you guys bring in. What's your thoughts on whether are they positioned to be role players at this point? I know they both have a lot of years left of big money.
Well, I mean, DJ, I think just gives us the flexibility to, make some more strategic moves, whether it's through free agency, through trade. DJ is going to be out there every day. He just has the flexibility of being able to play third base, obviously, or second base, or even first base for that matter. And you can kind of build your roster in that way. The biggest thing with Aaron right now is making sure he's strong and healthy and in shape and ready to go. And if that's the case, we know we have a really good player, and that'll kind of take care of itself. But I think we're getting way ahead of ourselves when you start to say, well, is this guy we're still in November here. This is about these premium players getting themselves in shape and ready to go. And if they're healthy and strong, and their production will take care of itself.
One more quick one, if I may. You guys have some really good shortstops coming up. A couple of them are maybe getting semi-close. How much have you followed their progress? And when you guys talk about adding a shortstop for a lot of years, how much talk is there that we have some guys in the organization that could be really good players?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question that factors in, because we do feel like, obviously in Peraza and Volpe, that we have two future, long-time impact big league players. And with Peraza getting up to AAA, he's knocking on the door. Obviously, Anthony kind of rifled through a few or a couple different levels this year. So, we're obviously very excited about those players and believe that they are, real. And that certainly always factors into any kind of decision ultimately the organization and Cash make when they're making a decision on trades or free agent acquisitions. That's all part of the equation.
Aaron, thanks for jumping on. We appreciate it. Everybody.
All right, thanks, guys.
Enjoy the rest of your day and take it easy. Thanks.
Hola, soy Don Ramírez, pitcher de los Yankees de Nueva York. Un saludo a la máquina deportiva.
Hola, le habla Iñaki Betancourt de los Kansas City. Saludo a la máquina deportiva.
Hola, soy Ángel Pagán y los invito a la máquina deportiva. Soy Juan Rivera de los Angelinos. Un saludo a la máquina deportiva.
Mi nombre es Carlos Rosa de los Kansas City. Un saludo a la máquina deportiva.
Val, un saludo para la máquina deportiva.
Luis Castillo. Lo invitamos a la máquina deportiva.
Yo soy Kendry Morales, primera base de los Analisis. Un saludo para la máquina deportiva.
Regresó Ramón Ramírez para invitarlo a la máquina deportiva.
I'm Mike Jacobs from Kansas City Royals, inviting you to la máquina deportiva.
José Contreras, pitcher de White Sox. Un saludo especial para la máquina deportiva.
I'm Daniel Murphy with the New York Mets. I invite you to continue with Máquina Deportiva.
Hola, soy Brian Peña. Saludos a la máquina deportiva.